Hi, I'm Cody. Today, I'm going to be talking about a local ecological disruption found right here in Malta: urbanization. Some of you might be asking, what does the term ecological disruption mean? Ecosystems are made of living things, like plants and animals, and non-living things, like water, soil, and air. All these things work together in balance. Now, an ecological disruption is a temporary change in that balance. There are two types of ecological disruptions. There are those that occur because of natural events, and there are human-induced ecological disruptions, like pollution, deforestation, and climate change. Urbanization is also a human-induced ecological disruption, and is growing fast right here in Malta. In short, urbanization happens when the population rises and cities grow, so more virgin land, farmland, or natural areas get replaced with buildings, roads, and other industrial structures. So now, let's go a bit deeper into what really happens when cities grow. One of the first things you will unfortunately notice when you come to Malta is that there are construction cranes everywhere, and this is due to all the construction taking place. As more buildings and roads are being built in Malta, there's less space for nature, which means animals lose their homes and plants can no longer grow where they used to. For example, with fewer wild plants growing in places like valleys, creeks, and open fields, bees and butterflies struggle to find flowers for nectar, and this negatively affects pollination. There is also less space for reptiles because they live in rocky, wild areas. Animals like hedgehogs or chameleons need to move between natural spaces, which are safe. Roads and buildings block their paths, so it's harder for them to find food or mates. Not to mention, many of them are killed by vehicles while crossing roads. This is actually called habitat fragmentation. When the number of plants or animals drop, like bees or wildflowers, this can upset the balance of their natural environment, because other living things depend on them to survive. This is what we call an ecological disruption. Another effect of urbanization is that cities are getting hotter due to the urban heat island effect. The heat island effect is when buildings, roads, and concrete trap heat and release it slowly. Studies held in Malta show that urban areas can get up to 1.5 degrees Celsius hotter than green areas. This can lead to an ecological disruption because the extra heat changes local climates, making it harder for plants and animals to survive. Urbanization brings more buildings and roads, especially near the coast. Roads don't soak up rainwater, so when it rains, flooding gets worse. These floods carry oil, rubbish, and chemicals into the sea. Big buildings near the coast can also have drainage or sewage leaks, which add even more pollution to the water. Polluted water doesn't just make beaches unsafe, it also hurts marine life. When waste and chemicals enter the sea, bacteria break it up, using oxygen in the water. This means there is less oxygen for fish and other sea creatures to breathe. Even seagrass beds found in Maltese waters get damaged by pollution, which are important as many creatures depend on them for food and shelter. All this puts stress on the marine environment and upsets the natural balance of the ecosystem. Buildings and roads by the sea don't only cause sea pollution, they also create light pollution. At night, there is too much artificial light when it should be dark. This makes it hard to see the stars, which some migrating birds, like the European honey buzzard, used to find their way. If they can't see the stars clearly, they can get confused and fly off course. Light pollution also affects turtle hatchlings. When baby turtles hatch at night, they follow the natural light of the moon to reach the sea, but bright lights from buildings and roads can lead them the wrong way, putting their lives at risk. Some forms of pollution are sometimes less obvious, but just as dangerous. In Malta, one of the main causes of air pollution is traffic. Every year, we get more cars, buses, and trucks on the road. All these vehicles release harmful gases like carbon monoxide and nitrogen dioxide. Another big cause here is construction. Malta's always building, from new roads to hotels and apartment blocks. These construction sites release fine dust particles, which float in the air and can go deep into our lungs. This type of air pollution is very harmful for our health. It's also harmful to plants, trees, and insects, and adds on to climate change. It doesn't stop there. All this traffic and construction doesn't just pollute the air, it also creates a huge amount of noise, and that's a big problem here in Malta. It may just sound annoying, but noise pollution can actually affect our health too. Animals are affected as well. Birds stop nesting in noisy areas, and wildlife can get scared or confused. Even animals like birds or bats that use sound to communicate can get completely thrown off. As urbanization keeps growing in Malta, we're seeing how it's not just one type of pollution, but it's multiple problems happening all at once, and this is affecting the ecosystems in our environment. With urbanization, plants, animals, insects, and even soil and water stop working the way they should. But we can stop this by taking real action to prevention, mitigation, and restoration. We can help ecosystems in Malta recover and function properly again. Prevention means stopping the damage before it happens. Let's mention a few examples of how we can do this. One example is more countries are having stricter building rules. For example, the ODZ rules, which stands for Outside Development Zones. These rules prevent building on protected rural lands like Busquet, Chadwick Lakes, and nature reserves. It would be great if this could also be extended to coastal areas and other rural areas, so they don't get lost to more development. Improving and using public transport. Creating a more reliable public transport system that covers more area and has more buses coming in frequently and on time encourages people to choose them over cars. Decreasing air and noise pollution, especially in busy areas. Another method of prevention is simply not littering and putting our rubbish in the appropriate bins. By doing so, we're helping our ecosystems. Probably the most important prevention tool is educating the public. Programs like Eco Schools and Globe, which I'm proud to be a part of, and even local NGOs like BirdLife Malta and Nature Trust Malta. These programs teach us about ecosystems and how to care for the environment. And these things make us more likely to make better decisions so we can prevent damage from even happening in the first place. Now, mitigation is about reducing the damage that has already happened. So let's look at a few examples. People in Malta can save energy in their homes by using energy-efficient bulbs and turning off the lights when they're not needed. This can cut down on air pollution coming from power stations, like the Delamara power station here in Malta. You can also plant trees and add greenery to rooftops and balconies to help clean out the air and reduce the heat in our towns. Adding on to not littering, recycling properly is very important, so no waste ends up in places where toxic chemicals can leak into the soil that harms animals and plants. Now, restoration is about fixing the problems that has already been done. One example here in Malta is replanting native trees to bring back natural habitats. Throughout Malta, there's also many different cleanup groups, one of which called Zibel, which in English means rubbish. They organize beach cleanups and remove tons of rubbish from the sea. There's also a government campaign called Saving Our Blue, which involves schools, families, and other volunteers. All these help restore polluted areas. At beaches, there are even volunteers that protect and monitor turtle nesting sites throughout the day and night until they hatch. These volunteers play a very important role in increasing the turtle population, as they not only make sure that the hatchlings reach the sea safely by not letting them get distracted by lights or blocked by obstacles, but they also raise awareness. They talk to beach visitors and explain why it's so important to keep quiet, avoid lights, and give turtles space. One specific example is using red lights, so baby turtles don't get confused and head the wrong way after they hatch. So, prevention, mitigation, and restoration are three powerful ways we can stop ecological disruption and hopefully manage to restore balance in Malta's ecosystems, now and for future generations. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you want to learn more, stay tuned and watch more Globe vlogs. Bye-bye and thank you.